I'm here with Andy Ngo. Hi Andy, what are you doing here and what has happened around here?
Hi, John. For people watching, they're probably just wondering why is this a news hit? It's just a street in a random part of England. So we're in Bordesley Green, which is in the eastern part of the city of Birmingham. It's a neighborhood. It's a heavily Muslim area. It was here that actually just about 24 hours ago, this is where a lot of violence played out, and you wouldn't even necessarily know. The only sign of that, I think, is a Palestine flag that is still there. So just yesterday, there were about up to 300 masked men, young men who mobilized here as part of what's been called a Muslim patrol. It's sort of these self-styled vigilante groups that have organized in reaction to some of these anti-mass migration protests. There were rumors yesterday that there was going to be an EDL, English Defence League, protest. It was a hoax. It never happened. But nevertheless, people organized, and you had hundreds of angry men looking for somebody to fight, and who they ended up targeting were journalists who were here. They marauded throughout the town, and then they went to a pub. These were caught on some of the videos that went out, that went viral, that was shared by Elon Musk and others. Attacked people at a pub, and but judging by today, you wouldn't necessarily know that all this has happened. But we're here because communities like Bordesley Green has been at sort of this boiling point in different parts of England, where communities are not living well side by side, and this is part of the grievance of some of these mass demonstrations that have happened, that have turned into riots in parts of England. And so Birmingham is now the latest city to experience political unrest. So far things have been peaceful in this area, but then nevertheless underlying issues are still there.
I'm here at the Clumsy Swan with Andy Ngo, where the action happened yesterday from the riots. So Andy, you've been speaking to people on the ground here. What have you found out so far?
Yeah, so as soon as I walked near the pub, I had my phone out to take pictures and videos, and immediately a man went up and asked, "Why are you recording?" People here are quite on edge. I think none of them would speak on record with me, by the way. They would speak as long as I wasn't recording. They wouldn't even allow me to record their voice. I think this music, the pop music that's playing, is a bit deceptive in that it's a festive atmosphere, you would think, with the music and the people around trying to have a good time. But I think the people here are traumatized because yesterday, just a day ago, dozens of masked Muslim extremists who were part of the so-called Muslim patrol, they marched nearly 40 minutes to get from where they had gathered from the roundabout here, and they carried out an attack because they were going around looking for people that they accused of being part of the EDL. The EDL never materialized at all yesterday, so there was quite an indiscriminate attempt to find people. Drivers were attacked, journalists were chased. And here, behind here, the window is still smashed up. It's boarded up now. On the other side, there was a door that's been damaged as well. And just nobody wants to talk. They're scared to, or they just want to move on with their lives. I think the violence that happened here in Birmingham just a day ago is emblematic of this boiling anger that is just beneath the surface in British society. Perhaps no longer beneath the surface, because in the last week there's been a lot of political violence and riots involving different groups. And then what we're seeing is that there are different factions and sort of like nascent paramilitaries that have formed. I mean, these so-called Muslim patrols, they organize just online. People put out a call to go, and they'll say things like, "Go, Muslims, wherever you are, come here, come to Birmingham, protect our mosque." Some of them have even framed it as, keep the white man away. You see also shocking incidents in other parts of England in this last week, such as in reaction to some of these Muslim patrols, there have been some of these white men at the intersections stopping drivers, asking, "Are you white? Are you English?" before letting them proceed. In my time in England, I've never seen this type of racial division before, but it's been building up from decades of grievances groups have. Right now, one of the hashtags that's been going viral is two-tier cure, and some of the white British, if you will, are accusing the Prime Minister of making police even more unfair than than how it's been already. I think this grievance is likely to grow, as particularly here in Birmingham, when you had hundreds of Muslims that gathered in this roundabout area about 2 miles away from here. There was absolutely no police presence at all. And you contrast that with when the white anti-mass migration protesters have had their protests, the police will show up with these riot gear, SWAT gear, dog units, on horseback, drones and helicopters. And then there's also been mass arrests, and Keir Starmer has used language that somehow are saying is inflammatory. He's saying that he's readying an army, that's his word, an army of officers to shut down and clamp down on these thugs, referring to the so-called right-wing protesters, and that there would be 24-hour courts to swiftly carry out prosecutions and sentencings. So things are really tense right now, despite the music. And Birmingham is just the latest flashpoint in city after city, town after town in England.